I'm sure that the majority of you have been driving through town and have seen deer on the side of the road, or even worse, may have hit one with your car yourself. The reasons for this is because as the towns build up larger and larger, the area that the deer have to live in is growing smaller, yet the deer are not being controlled in any way, causing the population to increase. There's a great new program out as of the past few years to help control this population, and it's called urban archery. Urban archery is where hunters go into the woods in town and help out with thinning the deer population. Urban archery is used to prevent the deer population from becoming even worse overpopulated, and we need to support this because it'll decrease the amount of destruction to homeowners' landscapes. It'll decrease the amount of automobile-related deer accidents, and we need to understand that urban archery is a safe method of thinning out the deer herd. For my first point of being that the homeowners' landscapes are being destroyed by these deer, it's not really the deer's fault because it's their natural way of living. I mean, they go out through the woods and browse around and eat on whatever they want. And as towns get built up, they're taking up the habitat and destroying all these beautiful landscapes that homeowners have. And many might ask what deer actually would do to a landscape. Well, they could do something such as eating flowers all the way to the ground, or they can eat all the leaves off of your trees or bushes, or during the fall when deer in the breeding season, bucks are notorious for rubbing their antlers on trees, and the reason for this is because their antlers are just grown back and they still have the velvet on them, and they're trying to rub this off because it's like a skin basically on them, and it's dying and it's itching them, so they're trying to rub off this velvet off their horns. The deer working on these landscapes is a very costly thing for the landowners, and if towns were to adopt the urban archery, then this would help prevent the deer from even being near as destructive as they would have been in previous time on the landowners' landscapes. For my second reasoning, the automobile accidents would decrease greatly if towns would adopt the urban archery. In the fall, deer usually start moving out more because they're, like I said earlier, this is the mating season, and this is when deer are more likely to be hit because they're moving their territories, trying to find mates and everything. One study by CNN showed that deer cause nearly 1.5 million accidents each year, and 150 of these are death related. And this right here ought to be enough for people to understand that these populations need to be controlled, and urban archery is a way of doing this, and a very effective way of doing this, because it will decrease the numbers of the deer. And many people seem to think that hunters are all about trophy hunting, just killing the big bucks and everything. But the thing is, with urban archery, the regulations for it in most cases are only there to harvest the does out of the area. And when you harvest the does out of the area, this really brings down the population, because each year does are usually going to have 2 fawns each. And I mean, if you think about it, that's going to add up really quick. And in another article by David Ross, who wrote in The Effective Methods of Controlling Population and Reducing Accidents, it was proven in Montgomery County, Maryland, that when they adopted the urban archery, that the number of lethal accidents dropped dramatically. For my third reasoning why towns should adopt the urban archery season is because this is a safe method of controlling the population. Many would think that people going out in the woods and shooting deer, even with archery equipment, wouldn't be safe. But you got to understand that archery equipment is not that effective at long range. And then when you think that most hunters are going to be hunting out of a tree, which is going to be elevated, then the chances of an arrow traveling very far are very slim. And I personally know that in Pittsboro, which is in Chatham County, that you have to become qualified to even be able to hunt in urban archery season. When I talk about being qualified, I looked it up on a document by the town of Pittsboro. The hunters have to be able to shoot at 30 yards and get a score of 30 on a target that is 12 inches in diameter, and it's got 5 scoreable rings. So when you get to thinking about it, it's got to be a pretty good bow hunter to go out there and shoot these animals to even have a chance. I mean, they're not just going to let anybody go out there and hunt behind your house, and you have to be worried about your children or your pets getting shot. I mean, the people that's going to be taking part in these activities are very well trained and understand what they're doing when they go out there. So for these reasons of controlling the destruction on homeowners' landscapes, that is going to lower the amount of automobile accidents, and it is a safe method, is why I believe that urban archery is a very good program for towns to adapt. And I hope now that you understand the importance of urban archery for towns and will support it when it comes to a town near you.